Alright, what is up YouTube? Today we are playing some blue-white Flash best of 3 standard on Arena. Probably the most popular deck in standard at the moment is like blue-black Flash, Kaito, mostly Enduring Curiosity. This is a card that I called out early in the spoiler season. It's just something that looked incredibly powerful. It just has so much text as an incredible rate, and it is so good. And that is proven to be true. So we're trying it in a different shell than blue-black. We're trying blue-white, which I think is probably worse than blue-black. I think it's really appealing to have better removal because of Deep Cavern Bad and things like the 1-mana mice. But you get some nice alternative tools. And depending on how the metagame breaks, I do think white could potentially be better. Versus things like Domain and Demon, these sort of bigger decks. It's nice to have Aven Interrupter and Soul Partition and Get Lost and stuff like Exorcise or Destroy Evil in the sideboard. So we're giving it a shot today, just to see how it plays out. Another standout in the difference, the blue-black creature, or the blue-black Restless Land is really good. I think this is the best one though. So you do it, and it also fits extremely well into the plan of just like beating people down in the air. And it can help make your creatures become larger. So Anchorage is nice there. But yeah, going into the deck, we've got classic Siren, one of the best enablers for your Curiosity type cards. Anything that says draw a card if you hit your opponent like Gix. It's just like perfect value. You never care if your opponent has a removal spell. If you got some Mockingbirds, another cheap flyer, but also it can double up your Drowners or your Werefox Bodyguard. Even Aven Interrupter, actually, the static ability can be relevant to stack. And Faerie Mastermind is one of the most important cards in the format, and is part of the reason that things like Enduring Innocence, Up the Beanstalk, and Unholy Annex don't just dominate the format. This card is so effective at combating all of those cards, which arguably would just be the best cards in the format if it wasn't for this card. So this does a ton of heavy lifting. This card is so important. And maybe a little underrated. I think some people don't entirely understand how important this card is to the standard format and to like helping the standard format be good and be balanced. This card is so important. Some removal, I don't really like the white removal. Soul Partition's cute with Aven Interrupter. Get Lost just sucks, but it answers a lot of stuff and it's important. We've got an Errant and Giada. It fits very well into the deck. It's a fine card. You know, don't craft this if you don't have them. You definitely don't need it, but it's a sweet one. You can definitely go off with it. Werefox Bodyguard. This is a removal spell. Works incredibly well with Enduring Curiosity. Also does Flash, so you can leave up your counter spells. It works with Errant and Giada. Just a solid card. Maybe not the best if you're playing against Cut Down and Shock all the time, but still very good. A Fountainport, you could maybe play more than one. I'm just playing one because the mana base is sort of color intensive. You have a blue 1-drop and then some double white 3-drops. So I just decided to play one. Also, you have no Relies in your deck, so it can be problematic. Sideboard is just a smattering of different stuff. Most of my sideboards look like this. I think it's a fine way to build sideboards, even though it maybe doesn't appeal the most to, you know, basic human brain wanting 4 ofs and 3 ofs and clean numbers. But yeah, we've got Elspeth Smite for things like aggro, mouse deck, Destroy Evil, and Exorcise and Get Lost is a little bit more of a flexible removal spell. All of these are pretty good against demons. They answer large creatures and Unholy Annex. I have a flanker for the Helping Hand deck, Oculus stuff. It's another Flash thing. Bodyguard also can be good against those decks, just good against creatures, and the mouse deck as well. The Leyline decks don't really have as much removal, so this can be very powerful there. Tidebinder for the Up the Beanstalk decks and Domain. Stroke for a bunch of different matchups. Obviously, it's just a generic counterspell. Enduring Innocence for any of the grindy matchups. Loran, I only have one because I don't really want to board in more than one against things like the Annex deck, but this can be good against Domain and Overlords and Unholy Annex. And then I'm trying some split-ups. This is a card I've seen people talk about and play. I haven't ever given a shot. It doesn't look that good to me, but I wanted to experiment with it, and why not here if we're going to try this blue-white deck. So that is the deck profile. If you came for the deck, make sure to like and subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Otherwise, enjoy the video, and I will see you in the games. Peace. Alright, play first. This looks unkeepable. Mulligan. And let's keep this. Hope for some lands. What What do I want to get rid of here? Could be Mockingbird maybe and just curve out. I don't want to hit my land drops anyway, so we'll just count on that happening. I think I would rather have this than a second Drowner. Okay, sewer means maybe the demon deck, which is somewhat scary. I think I am just going to curve out. Just hope the Enduring Curiosity resolves and is good. Okay. I'm going to take the hit, I think. Oh, you're just jamming it? Okay. Well, this is pretty good for me. I'll let him have the extra card. We get to draw 2 here. Alright, nice. Well, that's a good spot to be in. It's a solid draw. Another good draw. Probably somewhat difficult for blue-black to come back. I guess they can get their Faerie back into play, but it's not too concerning. I think I want to ignore this again. If I just attack. Doesn't much matter. I guess I'll just attack. I can give them a card. I'm doing damage. Okay. Alright, well, I get my free card anyway. They take 4 damage. I get to leave up Counterspell and Giada and Soul Partition. So, looks like a reasonable spot. You can have a demon, sure. And we have lethal here. Oh, well, that was a beating. Oh, we drew our lands. Okay, how do I want to board? My sideboard's got a bunch of random stuff. Mostly for the sake of experimentation. I definitely want Destroy Evil. I think I want Get Lost. I don't know if I want to overdo it with the removal, but all of it seems okay. One of the problems with blue-white is definitely Faerie Mastermind can be annoying, but I guess it's not that bad. It's only for Enduring Curiosity, and some of the time I'm going to be drawing 2 cards, so maybe we don't care. So I can have the Bodyguard. We know they're going to have a million removal spells. I think Loran's good enough. Strokes, maybe okay versus their version of the deck. I don't know if I need it. I guess it's probably better than Negate because it can stop the demons. Negate can stop the enchantment, but this can stop Jace too, I guess. And I think I want this even though they're going to have a bunch of annoyance. I think it's good to just have like powerful cards and hope their things don't line up. Alright, do I want Split Up? So Split Up's going to be bad in the games where they're just like all removal and unholies. It's a bit tricky. Okay, I think I'm going to take out Mockingbird. And maybe just take out a Bodyguard and rely on some of this hard removal. I think I'm going to trim Soul Partitions as well, just because if they have a bunch of 1-for-1 stuff, they'll have time to recast their thing. Maybe on the play, I can just use it to tempo them out, because I'll have that advantage. But on the draw, it seems sort of likely that I'm not just going to be able to kill them and that quickly. And if they have time, they can just resolve their thing, even if it costs 2 more. But I don't know. I don't have that much experience with decks like this. So maybe the Soul Partitions are just so good with Interrupter that you should never take them out. Well, this is a pretty good highlight of the difference play versus draw. This is really problematic for me. I think I have to No More Lies like an Annex and just not try to trade here. Well, there's a go for the 3rd anyway, so we're just gonna play a game where they basically have 2 cards every turn. All of my cards suck. They're going to take the Mastermind and then pass. It's so hard to beat this. Yeah, this and Deep Cavern Bat is another reason that blue-white can be problematic. I guess I'll just put my thing into play and hope they don't have a good 2-drop. They don't have that many 2-drops, and like one of them's Faerie Mastermind, so we'll just use our mana and hope things work out. Potentially, I get to draw like a white source, and then I can maybe only have one removal spell or something like that. We can kill it. But yeah, this thing is just so me. This card is so obscenely powerful. It kind of blows my mind that people just like aren't constantly jamming 4 copies of this card in their deck. Seems like one of the best cards in the format. But I'll concede that it's not particularly good against. Because I'm trying to double block against things like red, right? Like if people have cut down and chalk and stuff, it just gets answered. But it's so cheap. Like who cares? Who cares if your 1-mana removal answers my 2-drop? Like it's bad for me, but it doesn't mean I'm just like gonna lose the game off of that. All right, 2 removals. We don't have double white. You can hope for no 3rd removal. Annex is basically unbeatable. This deck, I think, does only have 2 Broncos, though. So, on the play, we could have no more lies for Bronco. And we should be good to go. That was a good draw. Maybe winnable now. Let's see how this plays out. They know I have no more lies. So, a bit tricky. What do I think they're going to do? If I block, they get a demon. I can't stop it. I think I have to just counter the demon. And hope that like this last card isn't good. I can Fountainport to block, but at least this way I'm like doing something instead of nothing. So now I could just not attack. They're at 10 though. They took a lot of damage from the Bronco. That is one of the biggest problems with the Bronco in this deck. Yeah, this sort of time walks, but I think I'm okay with it. It is like, if you're not crewing it, which it's really bad at crewing it, it can be a liability. Okay, so they played a land before flipping this. This didn't end up in play. It's a little harder to erase me. This would be a very obscene game to win. Mastermind, okay, sure. Just doing nothing. So we're going to trade 1 for 2, even though they're drawing extra cards. Are you double blocking? I guess I'll normalize this. It's pretty awkward for me, but it's not getting much better. You go to 6. Okay, your turn. So this could kill them if they don't crew it. They probably have to attack either way, like, and just hope things work out. Obviously, I don't know what their other cards are, but assuming their other cards are bad. So they might die here. Oh, they hit land. Archfiend, okay. So they don't get a chump. You're going to annex. Alright, I will counter that. Untap, exercise, attack you down to 2, and then I have Anchorage. And you didn't get this into play, so... I'm just dead now? That's crazy. What a game. This thing drew so many cards and we just beat him anyway. That's wild. I wonder if they could have played better. Wow. Did not expect to win that game. GG's. I don't know if my opponent made mistakes. They didn't like not they could have played this Restless Anchorage over like an untap or a tap land, but they used all their mana anyway, so wild. Alright, GG. Alright. Always lucky. Go first. We'll try this. It's a bit awkward. I am gonna play a 1-mana 1/1, I think. Maybe not. So what needs to happen? I'm just getting 2 damage. I guess I will. This might be a spew. Oof. Well, it's a bit awkward at least. So it looks like we're playing against like the blue-black version of our deck, and this will be an interesting test. I think the blue-black version is better. I think if there's like large metagame shifts, maybe there's reasons to consider playing white, but we'll see how it goes. We have the advantage of being on the play. Our mana's a little wonky, but we just draw a blue land. We should be okay. Huh. Okay. Well, that kind of sucks. I think we're doing things this way. Floodpits Drowner. Do I want to nab that? What's the 3-drop I'm worried about? We're just going to try to tempo them out. Like, our cards are good. We have the board. We'll see how it plays out, but we drew no more lies. Faerie Mastermind. Okay, what's the card I'm worried about? I guess Kaito? I think I would rather have the Get Lost than the Counterspell at this point. So this has to be sorcery speed, right? Yeah, okay. So that's nice. Knowing that if they want to, like if their hands... It'll give us a lot of information if they use this. Sure. Okay. Probably should have used the Anchorage in hindsight. I guess doing nothing here is also appealing. I have Fountainport as well. Okay, so this is in play. I can't really deal with it. They can, like, Kaito this. So they get back a Mockingbird. Yeah, alright, nice. So it looks like opponent didn't have a 4th land, and we just had a fine draw on the play. Probably something that's very relevant. This seems like one of the most important cards in the mirrors, especially versus black decks. So nice. Alright, so Innocence, I think is good-ish. Flash stuff in general should be good. I don't know if Flanker's actually relevant. Probably is not. And now we're in the weird spot of trying to figure out if I want another Get Lost versus Deep Cavern Bat. So this highlights, this definitely highlights the problem with the white removal, where, like, if you Deep Cavern Bat me, you see my Elspeth Smite, you can just not attack into it. This doesn't kill Bat. If you Get Lost a different threat, then their Bat becomes a Baneslayer Angel or whatever, because they just put the map tokens on it. It becomes really big and hard to race. So yeah, there's a lot of problems with the white removal against the tempo blue-black deck. Whereas a lot of this stuff's pretty useful against the blue-black demon deck, but I think the demon deck is less powerful and less popular. So, do we want to try Split Up? I've never actually cast this card. Seems kind of mopey, to be completely honest. I'm not 100% sure how ninjutsu works. I don't believe you can counter it. I think it's like an ability. So I guess Get Lost can answer Kaido. Loran probably doesn't do anything. I'm gonna try this. Yeah, this is awkward. You can definitely see my dilemma in the sideboarding process. Do I think Soul Partition is going to be good? Not necessarily. I do think Errant and Giada might be good, depending on how much removal they have. What do I want to cut? I kind of want to cut Soul Partition and just fight them in the air with creatures. Is it ever better than... You know, let's try this. I'm going to try this Split Up. Maybe I draw it. And so my logic about Split Up, part of why I want to try it in this matchup, is that Deep Cavern Bat, since I have so many flyers, maybe their Deep Cavern Bats will just end up untapped for an extended period of time. Because they're not going to want to trade them. So maybe I can just attack them in the air And if the game goes super long and I have a split up, I could potentially like split up 2 bats and then get a huge advantage at that point. We will see. Okay, let's do this, I guess. If they just play a bat here, it's like obviously incredibly awkward for me. Not the Siren, which is somewhat nice, but okay, cool. Yep. I don't know why I would attack. I guess it doesn't make any sense. That's my bad. Probably, am I blocking? I don't know. I guess I probably should block. Okay. Getting a bit awkward with the tap land. I'm just going to leave out No More Lies. I want to give myself opportunities to resolve this. I don't care about that. Okay, Fountainport is potentially annoying, but maybe we get to resolve our thingy. Okay. Okay, so they have to take the split up or we can just nab the bat. Which is really awkward that we drew the 1 of split up. I was kind of hoping that it would be something maybe we could spike in the mid or late game. But whatever. I do have this map token. That was a really good draw. So, what are their blocks? Do they have good blocks? Double block here. And then I get to draw a card here. They have 2 cards left. I map the Restless Anchorage. Probably chump draw here. I kind of just want to map and do nothing else. Okay, that's good. Okay, now I have 5-4. I think they're just going to chump draw, and I'm fine with that. Not a big deal. And I'll just do effectively nothing. I'll just wait. Like, I think I am ahead in this game. I'll be reactive. I can use the Drowner to tap the opposing Drowner. I guess it is problematic they can just Fountainport to block, but that does time walk them, so. I think I might be like underusing my anchorage in this spot. That's interesting. So you're telling me you have a removal spell. So I play this, you play a removal spell. That's fine. We'll just Drowner the Drowner. I think. I could even just Bodyguard the token. I think that's a pretty reasonable play. Because what? They're going to have 2 mana left. Like 7, I'm drawing 2. Just effectively ignoring this bat. Yeah, I mean, maybe I undervalue some of the blue cards. Like, Aven Interrupter and No More Lies are nice against Enduring Curiosity. I know. I think my opponent has just not drawn the card, which is part of the problem from their half of the game. But it does, like, you do have some nice tools to interact with this card if this is the most important thing. It kind of seems like I'm just bullying my opponent with it. Yeah. All right. Well, GG's. So that was the blue-white Flash deck. Ran pretty well. It's fun to play too. Like, blue-white decks are always a lot of fun. So maybe you're tired of blue-black, you want to try something else, or you just like the Aven Interrupter. The card's pretty fun to play with, and it's pretty strong. So a nice alternative to Flash decks. If you guys liked the video, or if you enjoyed watching this, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. All right, peace.